So with this Lamb box, the truck, the project that I've been working on, I step back and I think, man, it's time to start putting it back together, but not quite yet. I still have a few things that I need to paint. We have the front bumper, the grille, the headlight bezels, the side view mirror, and then the tailgate for the actual service bed itself. All of that has to be paint matched. A lot of the stuff in the front is going white, the tailgate is going mint and green. All of it's going to get an airbrush treatment so that way it matches perfectly with the existing body. And also, really big news about this truck. It could be yours. More on that later.
And now, you're watching the According to Corporate America, Halloween is in August, Thanksgiving's October, Christmas is November, and I guess at this point I'll just say Happy New Year channel of YouTube. Welcome to BodeVision.
Hey, so what is up and welcome, and thank you so much for joining me yet again on another video. So with what I have to do, the main task and the reason that I'm making this video is to do a little bit more paint work. Now, that brings me to the sponsor of today's video. A lot of times, a lot of you guys are sending me messages asking what type of equipment I am using, and one of those questions a lot of times is paint guns, because I don't use a whole bunch of different guns. I usually just use one or two guns, a primer gun, and then my base gun is also my clear gun. Now a lot of the bigger guys, they have a specific base gun, they have a primer gun, and they have a clear gun, which is probably more efficient if you're in a high volume workspace or if you're going to be doing a lot of painting. I just adjust my settings accordingly. So I wanted to show you that you can do a good job with a gun that's not going to break the bank, and a gun in a kit that comes with everything in it. So all the information for this will be down in the description below. I'm not going to talk about all of the features. You could just look on a box, or you could click the link yourself and you can read about that. What I'm going to do is show you that it's going to work, or show you how it is going to work. You know, we'll let the results speak for themselves. You know, if I can get a good result out of it, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get a decent result out of it. So we have a few different tips here. We have a 1.7. I would use that probably for primer. And then we also have a 1.5. We also have a 1.3 on the gun. That's actually what I'd like to use. 1.2, 1.3 seems to work pretty good for me. Now if you want to go larger with a 1.5 or 1.7, if you're using a filler primer or doing anything like that, I would have thrown the 1.7 on there. I just primed all of this stuff with my regular primer gun, because you guys don't need to see me sanding and getting ready and prep for primer. I just kind of want to keep it moving. What I'm going to do is finish getting this set up, and then we are going to go ahead and mix that base coat, and we are going to lay the base coat down with this cheap, economical paint gun and see how it goes. Alright, so what I ended up deciding was every single thing that you see here actually did come in the box, from the water separator, the regulator, the gun itself. So ultimately, if you were to buy this kit, you would be set up and ready to go and start painting that same day. So we have my mint that I'm going to be starting with. So now that I got this plugged in, let's go ahead and see how it goes. I got it set up right now at about 25 PSI. The compressor's turning on, it's going to interrupt me. Nothing's coming out until I pull it a little bit more. And that looks good. That fan looks good. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and get this green sprayed out. Then we will do our white. We'll see what happens. Let's make it happen. So I got everything laid out as good as I would hope. Honestly, that gun, man, throw it in my mix. Good gun. I think I might keep it as a primer gun, to be honest, because it has that larger tip on it. If you just needed one gun to do everything, it'd be a good choice for you. So we have the mint right there, we have the white right here. Now I need to get into some of my airbrushing. With the brown and the black and the shading, there's a couple different ways that you can approach it. Either I can do kind of some drips like I've done on the truck, like anywhere that a bolt is going to be. especially on the bumper bolts. Those would obviously have rusted over time, but the grille itself, I kind of just want to highlight some of the corners, any of the transition areas, just to make it look a little bit more old and worn out. I'm going to have my airbrush quite a ways back to just kind of maybe dust some black and brown over to just make it look a little bit more worn out and dirty, because that's the idea, right? Trying to make something look a little bit more old and worn out, so that way it can match the rest of the truck that looks old and worn out. So let's get right into that, and then we will go back to the paint gun to clear all of this stuff. Once this is all done, we can throw it on the truck, and then that is it for painting until the next project. Cannot wait for that. Alright, so all of those parts turned out really nicely. Now this gun, the D1, I am actually pretty impressed with it for a $110 gun. That's right, this entire package is just $110. So if you wanted to start painting, I would definitely recommend going this direction. Now there are a million options out there for you, but something like this, something that I tried right in front of you and showed you, it is going to be a good deal. The link will be down in the description below for all the information on this. And one thing that I am impressed with this company is how beginner friendly they are. All of the knobs are labeled, like this one's for the fluid, this is for the fan. It's really easy to understand and comprehend. Plus arrow, minus arrow, more or less, everything makes sense. It comes with everything that you need, and it has a really impressive spray pattern. So as far as the slam box goes, why don't we go ahead into getting into installing some of those parts that I just freshly painted, as well as installing a bunch of lights. I have lights going around this entire truck, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw them on. Once they're all thrown on, we will get into wiring, but we'll get into that a lot more when we get there. So let's make that happen. Good is this thing looking, man? As far as every single piece going back on just makes it look more and more complete, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now when it comes to wiring, we need to get into that, and honestly a lot of people are intimidated by wiring, but something like this, to me, you don't really got to think about it. You're just running it from scratch. You don't got to do any kind of conversion. For those lights, they just need ground and power. So we need to run power and ground to every single one of them. We need to make it run nice. Once it's all running and working, then I will focus on tucking it, cleaning it, and making it look really nice. And let's just get into wiring, man. This will definitely take a few hours, but it'll just be a couple seconds for you. All right, so now that we spent a day and a half, the good majority of the weekend messing around with these lights, let's go ahead and take a look at them. And dude, how good does that look, man? All of these, when this truck is lowered, going down the street, making the street glow, you cannot miss it. You will not be able to miss it. We got the roof going on. We got these ones. Now there's one on each corner right here. Also back here there's one, but this is a red. Keep in mind this used to be the other way around. So this red probably used to be an amber, but either way, man, we got the holes. We filled them in the way that they're going to work. So one thing about this truck and every other vehicle that we've built, rather, we always have to do a lot of conversions on existing wiring on a chassis. For example, one thing that I can actually think of on my 1988 LS swapped Honda Accord, when you go to put that car in reverse on the T56, the reverse lights still come on. Now the colors of the reverse light wiring for the Accord are not the same colors as the wiring for the reverse sensor in the T56 transmission, just because that's not the original wiring for that car. So all of that stuff is written down in a binder. There's just page after page after page of custom schematics, so that way if anybody in the future, or if we in the future had to mess with it, that's all there, because you are not going to remember that. Now the reason that I'm saying that is because this car is very similar. The types of taillights, they are one color. They're not going to match the chassis color. So all of those conversions have been noted. We put them on a piece of paper. We also have a digital copy of them. So if you win this truck and ever need to troubleshoot everything, you're not just gonna have to think, oh, what the hell did the last guy do? Well, the last guy actually took notes, wrote it down, and made that super nice for you. Why is this so dark, man? What's going on with this thing? So speaking of winning this truck, let me let you know how exactly that is going to go down. Now all of this is going to be linked in the description below, and the way that it is going to work is on my site right now. I actually have pre-orders because I don't have the final design yet, but either way I wanted to give you the opportunity to get on there because spots are limited. So the way that this is structured is if you purchase a key tag, you have an entry to win. Now the reason why we are doing that is because I still want you to have something. I'm not just going to give you a digital sticker or something ridiculous. I actually want you to have a nice premium product. Now the key tag is going to be representative of the Slam Box truck, so that is really cool. It's a Slam Box truck key tag. Link will be in the description below. So every purchase that you get is the equivalent to one entry. Now I wanted to get this out there, and I wanted to let you know because spots are limited. So the key tag itself is $75. All the information will be down below, like I said, and also I am going to cover shipping. The idea is if you win the truck, I don't want you to have to pay for anything. So the purchase of the key tag does come with the key tag itself, and it could come with the truck, and the truck is really cool. I'm going to want to take the next few weeks to get it finished up, get it dialed. So number one, you get a key tag. Number two, you support someone that you like. And number three, this truck might be yours. More information on this will come out as the videos go on. I will also show you designs, but pre-sale is live right now, so get after it. So now really quickly, what I want to do, since you're able to be right there and able to watch, I want to go ahead and test all of the functions in the back. I'm gonna shout them out, then you just check on them and see if what we got going on is working. So this should be running lights. So the reds in the corner should be lit, as well as these reds, and then all of my diodes and my license plate and this little back guy right here. All right, so that looks good. Now I am going to try brake lights. Let's see if that's working out. Should be good. All right, now I'm going to try hazards, which would also be turn signal lights. Let me see how it's going on the turn signals. All right, cool. That looks good on them turn signals. Pretty good. And then the only other one is reverse. So let's see how that goes, if that's working or not. All right, so let me put the car in reverse. You should see that happen. I can't really see from being in the car, but I will definitely take your word for it. So that is what I was talking about. That is what I was talking about with the conversions. If you ever had to troubleshoot this, because this truck could be yours. Come on, man, how many times am I gonna tell you? So just take a look. We got all of the wiring back here. The colors at some point have to go from our town car to our new light. So it's not like we can just keep them the same because these already came with wiring. So I think what I'm going to do, we have the service bed 100%. Now my father's gonna help me a lot with the wiring. Really helpful to just have us both tackling it. I mean, get the roof knocked out, all of the lights. I'm able to work on one part of it while he's working on the other part of it, so that works out really nicely. Now in the next video we are going to finalize 100%. I think the next video will be the last last video. We'll get it fully assembled. I need that front end to go on. I can't do the front end until the wiring's done, so we need to do some more work up there. Also, we are going to be doing a custom bed in the back, so look out for that as well. And we need to get some mandatory rollers of the slam box with all the lights driving down the road for the first time. I haven't even drove this thing yet, man. So if you're still here, check out the links down below. Also, check out that paint gun as well, man. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So a lot of really cool stuff going on. We already have another project lined up. If you like this project, I'm sure you will like the next project. Make sure you subscribe to stick around for all that stuff. Like this video if you like it. Leave a comment. Let me know everything you think about all of this stuff thus far. A lot of exciting stuff going on, man. I'm out. I'll see you on the next one.